Yeah, let me take your question this way. I just noticed this morning Tesla is exactly valued the addition of the market cap of all other car manufacturers in the world. And so you could think, well, nah, that's too high. But I actually think it's way too low. Tesla should be worth several times other car manufacturers, given they're creating this league of their own and they're totally disrupting this industry.
Hey, I'm Stephen and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So you may notice a slight smile on my face today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy. Tesla stock got absolutely smoked, crushed in fact, down 12% for the day. Well, to be technical, 11.99%, almost $140 per share. The reason I'm so happy today, obviously, is because the flying spaghetti monster has presented another wonderful buying opportunity for Tesla stock, which is exactly what I'm doing. Let me know in the comments below if anyone else has been taking advantage and buying the dip in Tesla stock this week, whether it was Monday, Tuesday, or whether you're considering buying later this week, assuming the stock is still down. So in today's video, I'll be discussing exactly what the happened to Tesla stock today and what I think is likely throughout the rest of this week. And I'll also share exactly what I've been doing and what I intend to do. So with that said, let's get into the video. If you love crypto, stocks, and free stuff, or just want to help out the channel, check out these great offers. BlockFi are launching the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card. People in the US can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase with no annual fee using the BlockFi Bitcoin rewards credit card. Check out the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can get up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $300 just for opening an account. And if you make an initial deposit of $5 or more, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $2,000. Seriously. Free stocks? Yes, please. And finally, if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for your support, guys. Let's get back to it. So what the actual happened to Tesla stock today? Why is Tesla stock down 12%? Well, it seems quite evident to me now. I don't know for sure. I don't have a crystal ball, but I do have a brain. It's not perfect, but it works okay. And by using my brain and looking at some of the available evidence, I have an extremely high level of confidence the answer is quite simple. Elon Musk has finished selling all of the 10% of Tesla stock that he announced he would sell at the conclusion of his Twitter poll over the weekend. I admit there is about a 0.0000000042069% probability that Elon didn't sell his stock today, but I don't think that's very likely. Now, how could I possibly know this? What evidence do I have? Let's examine the facts. So here we are looking at the WeBull app, my favorite app for looking at data when it comes to stocks. By the way, link in the description, get your 2 free stocks if you're not already signed up. So what can we learn about today? And is there any evidence to suggest that maybe Elon sold his stocks today? As we know, Elon Musk owns approximately 20% of Tesla, meaning that if he's selling about 10% of his stake in Tesla stock, that's about 20 million shares. The volume, we've got 58.88 million shares traded today. Now, notice the average volume over the 3 months there, just below, at 22.37 million. Today's volume had more than 20 million additional shares traded compared to the average over the last 3 months. This is a very strong signal. Doesn't prove anything, but it's a very strong data point. If we look at what actually happened to the stock when the stock opened today, you guys will notice in the morning here that Tesla stock almost immediately at the open of the day fell off a cliff. There were extremely high volumes of stock being traded, absolutely plummeting. This, to me, suggests a huge number of shares were sold at the open, Tesla stock continuing to fall throughout the day. Now, I suspect what happened today, Elon Musk, instead of doing big block transactions at a fixed price, told his bankers, just get rid of it, I don't give a shit, whatever, sell the stock. So some of the big banks got a ton of stock to sell and they just started dumping it on the open market. This is why Tesla stock moved down so much, in my opinion. Again, don't have proof, but it seems likely this is what went down. In addition to that, because Tesla stock was down, you're going to have a lot of algorithms buying and selling as well, increasing some of the volume for the day. And of course, there's going to be people who aren't really cut out for investing, panic selling out of their Tesla stock position, adding further downward pressure on the stock. Now, to play devil's advocate here, it is possible, although as I said, I find it extremely unlikely, but it is possible that Elon didn't sell any of his Tesla stock today, or maybe only sold a little. But if that's the case, we've witnessed one of the all-time most moronic moments in the history of the stock market. About 2% of Tesla stock due to be sold, and the stock down over the last 2 days about 17% as a result. So yes, it is possible that this was just panic in the stock market. I find that possibility exceedingly unlikely, but I do want to put that out there. Over on Twitter here, a great tweet from Gary Black from the Bloomberg terminal here. I quote, Tesla volume 58.2 million shares today versus normal volume of just 32.4 million over the past 20 days. Highest volume since after Q3 earnings. We look here, we can see the volume per day. Huge spike here today versus the average volume. Now, of course, this proves absolutely nothing. Just like if your girlfriend starts staying back late at work for a few weeks in a row and suddenly in her sleep begins to moan the word Stephen for some strange reason. But it's something to consider. So we can see here a number of stocks down today, nowhere near as much as Tesla overall. We've seen Microsoft down 1/3%, Google down almost 0.5%, Facebook down 0.7%, on and on and on and on and on. Now, I don't know for sure, but let's say for example that Tesla stock was on a massive discount. You're managing a fund, you've been underweight Tesla stock all year, you want to increase your position, suddenly Tesla's on sale. What a great opportunity to sell down a couple of your other positions to buy the Tesla dip. Do I know this happened for sure? Absolutely not. However, given the extremely elevated volumes on Tesla stock today, I would not be surprised if we learn that a number of institutional investors in particular, and certainly some retail investors as well, but they make up a smaller percent of the overall market. It's the institutions that really move the market. I won't be surprised if we learn a number of institutions today trim down their positions in companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, Facebook, etc. to buy the Tesla dip. Once again, let me know in the comments below if you bought the Tesla stock dip yesterday or today. Now, I'm sure we'll know within just a couple of days whether or not Elon Musk did in fact sell 10% of his Tesla stake today. But I do just want to remind you folks, a prediction I made after Elon Musk's Twitter poll over the weekend. I said that Elon Musk tends to act very quickly, and I expected that by mid this week, by the way, it's now mid this week, that he would be done selling all of his Tesla stock. Once again, this isn't proof of anything, but when you put the pieces of the puzzle together, Elon tends to act fast. Tesla stock got absolutely crushed today, crashing more than 10%, and the fact that we had significantly elevated volumes, more than 20 million additional shares traded, it seems quite probable that he did in fact sell the entire 20 million shares today. Now, I have to admit, I personally expected that Elon Musk would arrange with some of the big investment banks to do block transactions to sell the stock rather than just having the stock flood the market. But in either case, not really too fussed. I personally expected that the news that Elon Musk would be selling 10% of his stake in Tesla stock would actually apply more pressure to the stock because of people's emotional reactions than the act of selling. But this wasn't accounting for the fact that it may just be dumped and flood the market in a single day. That being said, I bought the dip in Tesla stock yesterday based on the news and the emotional reaction that Elon would be selling part of his stake. And I also prepared myself for the possibility that there may be further declines throughout the week, shuffling money around here, there and everywhere, breaking open my piggy bank, doing whatever it takes to arm myself with a little bit more ammunition in case there's more buying opportunities the rest of this week. I won't be counting on it, but I'm certainly going to be prepared if there's further falls. And now just a few final thoughts before we move on to hear some extremely bullish comments from Tesla stock analyst Pierre Ferragu. To all the Tesla stock investors watching, which is practically everyone, the last couple of days have been a wonderful insight into your investing temperament and whether or not you're cut out for investing in stocks in the first place. Tesla stock down more than 10% today. Are you excited that it's on discount and trying to get together some more money to buy the dip? Or are you feeling down and depressed, panicking, even thinking about selling the stock, hating your life, maybe jumping out of the 20-second story? Please don't do that. It's times like these where you'll learn the most about your temperament, your emotional maturity, and whether or not you're cut out for investing in stocks. As I said earlier in this video, I'm extremely pumped. Honestly, I hope Tesla stock gets absolutely destroyed. In fact, if you're following me on Twitter at Stephen Mark Ryan, you'll have seen me tweeting these very comments for the last few days since Elon's poll. I've been really hopeful. Of course, it's not a strategy, so I was prepared in either case. But I've been really hopeful that the stock will get absolutely creamed. Thankfully, that's exactly what's happened. I can now buy at a massive discount. This is also why it's extremely important to have a clear idea of what you personally believe a stock is worth, not only today, but in the future. It's important to remember that what Tesla stock is doing has literally nothing whatsoever to do with what Tesla, the business, is doing. If the stock's down 12%, that has nothing to do with how many vehicles Tesla's producing, how much profit they're making on each vehicle, how much data they're collecting for their full self-driving software, how many brilliant engineers are working for the company. I could go on and on and on. So, as I said, the last couple of days with Tesla stock will actually teach you a huge amount of valuable information about you as an investor. Not only about your temperament, but also about how much homework you've done, how well you understand Tesla, and more importantly, how much conviction you have in terms of your investment thesis. If you, like myself, have done your homework, built your own Tesla valuation model, and have your own price targets, not to mention are a very long-term investor, you're probably thinking the exact same thing that I am. Holy fuck, what a great buying opportunity. Let's back up the truck. And just another reminder, my price targets for Tesla stock all the way out to 2031 in the bear case, the base case, and the bull case are available exclusively on Patreon. There's a card in the corner and a link in the description. You'll gain access to those. They're always updated. And by the way, I made another update to all my Tesla stock price targets last night based on new, very bullish information on October deliveries from the Shanghai factory. This is why my Tesla stock price targets continue to evolve and change. Every time a new data point comes in, I integrate that into my Tesla valuation model and it spits out a bunch of new price targets. So if you want exclusive access to my Tesla stock price targets, which are always updated on Patreon, check out the link in the description. And now back to the topic of Tesla's business, their execution, their technology, their unassailable lead, rather than what Tesla's stock price is doing, which has nothing to do with the former points. Let's hear what Pierre Ferragu has to say about the company.
I think you say with Tesla, they're in a league of their own. What does that mean?
Yeah, so that means Tesla started producing, high volume passenger cars, electric passenger cars in 2012. And we're still, entering into 2022 without anyone, really getting to a similar point. So they are about 10 years ahead of the rest of the industry. And what that's turned into is economics that have nothing to do with the economics of the traditional car manufacturing business we've known about for decades. They are still very small, producing a run rate of just 1 million cars, and they have gross margins that are about at 30% gross margin, which is more or less double the average profitability of the industry.
This is a very, very important point. Tesla today at relatively low volumes, keeping in mind there's some automakers out there making around 10 million vehicles per year, about 10 times what Tesla's making. Tesla, even at relatively low volumes, already about twice as profitable as the average in the quote automotive industry. The more Tesla scales up, the more vehicles they produce, the more economies of scale come into play, the more profitable their vehicles become. They'll eventually get to 3 times as profitable, then 4 times as profitable, and on and on and on. As I've said before, Tesla is a money printing machine. Even at this relatively small scale, they are embarrassing the world's automotive manufacturers. And every new vehicle they produce, their fixed costs don't increase whatsoever, their margins grow even more, they print even more money.
They are selling cars that you have to wait for between 6 weeks and actually 6 months. They are meeting a demand that is way, way above what they can line up in terms of production. That's the thing that puts them in a league of their own, where that's a fate that is very different from what we've known about car manufacturing in the last decades.
And so that leads you to believe, even at this level, and with the amazing run in the stock of late, that it is what? That it is cheap based on the estimates you see for the company in the out years?
Yeah, let me take your question this way. I just noticed this morning, Tesla is exactly valued the addition of the market cap of all other car manufacturers in the world. And so you could think, well, nah, that's too high. But I actually think it's way too low. Tesla should be worth several times other car manufacturers.
This is a massive call from Pierre, although I agree. Again, price targets, link in the description, you'll understand where I'm coming from. But what Pierre has said here, in no uncertain terms, Tesla today worth exactly the same amount as all of the world's automakers combined, and it should be worth several times that amount. Easy numbers here. Tesla's worth about $1 trillion today in terms of market cap, a little bit over $1,000 per share. Several times that would be $3-4+ trillion in market cap. In other words, Tesla stock should be worth many thousands of dollars in the future, and I tend to agree. Shout out once again to my Tesla stock price targets.
Given they're creating this league of their own, and they're totally disrupting this industry. Remember when Apple was worth the addition of the market cap of all mobile phone manufacturers. Was Apple an expensive stock or a cheap stock? It was a cheap stock.
A league of their own. It may be their own now, Pierre, but I certainly can hear the voices out there, people watching, saying, but what about all the other car manufacturers that are making great inroads in terms of developing their own EV fleets that will pose a significant competitive threat to Tesla?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think you're completely right. Tesla is on a league of their own, but they are not going to play by themselves. They are going to be in a very competitive market. So you see two things happening. Traditional car manufacturers are taking the turn. It's very challenging. It's very difficult. You need to totally reinvent yourself. You suffer from a lot of legacy. You have so many things you do the old way that you need to change to be competitive. So they are going to be competing with Tesla, but they are not going to be in the same league. They are not going to be as cost efficient. They are not going to meet as much demand. So they are going to compete, but not on the same league.
I completely agree with this point once again. As I've said, Tesla's lead is unassailable. They are in a league of their own and they have won the decade. This doesn't mean that the steaming piles of so-called competition won't also sell. What it does mean is that there's no other manufacturer out there who will be able to compete in terms of comparable performance, features and functionality for nearly the same price point. They either need to sell vehicles at a dramatic loss just to compete on price, or sell vehicles at like 30+% higher price points just so they don't go out of business. And even that is going to be a stretch. I guess an analogy here would be the bottom 50% of guys out there, lacking ambition, no confidence, insecure, needy, probably still living in their mum's basement. Some of these guys will still miraculously manage to get laid, but they are not competing with the top 1, top 5, top 10% of guys who are having all the fun with the highest quality women. At best, they're relegated to picking up the unwanted scraps.
And then you have new players getting into the market. You know that we are talking a lot about Rivian this week for some obvious reasons. These players are coming up with very interesting products, very interesting positioning, and they are all trying to get to play into the market. But they are coming in about 10 years behind Tesla. So they are not going to be in the same league, but they are going to play in the market. I am probably, one of the most bullish analysts on Tesla. And I expect them to get, in my craziest dreams, around 20% market share, not more than that. So you still have 80% of the market to grab for others.
Fair points here from Pierre. Personally, in my bull case, which I think may be a little bit bearish, I'm expecting Tesla captures just 25% of the vehicle market. Pierre at around 20% in his wildest dreams. I'm not going to lie, I do believe that it's feasible that Tesla could capture 30, even 35% of the new vehicle market, but I'm not expecting that to take place. I'd love to be surprised on the upside. It's definitely a possibility, but even I'm not willing to assume that this is going to happen in a best case scenario, at least not yet. So I hope you guys and girls have enjoyed this video. As I said, I'm almost certain, not completely certain, never can be, but we'll find out in a couple of days, that Elon Musk has in fact sold all of the Tesla stock that he announced he would be selling via the Twitter poll. I hope you've been able to take advantage of the dip. Like I said, I'm moving some funds around, shuffling a few things. Hopefully, again, hope's not a strategy, but hopefully Tesla stock continues to bleed a little bit this week. Might be able to buy more stock at an absolute bargain price. Again, with a long-term investment perspective, I think we're going to look back in 2030 and beyond with Tesla at just a $1 trillion market cap and think it was the bargain of the century. Pierre Ferragu is definitely on the same page, suggesting that Tesla should be worth several times this amount. And as I've said, I completely agree with this. If you're not already on Patreon, check out the card in the corner or the link in the description to gain access to my always up-to-date Tesla stock price targets in the bear case, the base case, and the bull case all the way out to 2031, and you'll see where I'm coming from. As I mentioned, I've just posted an update to the price targets. They'll continue to change as new information comes in, so stay tuned. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan, this is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card where you can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase. There's a link in the description. You can also earn up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, also linked below. And finally, don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and Stake, also linked in the description. These great offers also help out the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.